Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Mustard Seed. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Ryan. Join us on our journey.
We got Josh over there
Oh,
on the beats. I think we should include
Yeah,
Josh
why-
in the intro. I don't understand why we don't.
why have we not been?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess because I'm not seen, so it's just like, is he really there? You know?
Every episode, Josh is like, dang it. Say my name again.
It's Wednesday morning. You know what
Yeah.
that means.
I was gonna say you forgot.
I didn't forget. I was just so enraged that we haven't included Josh in our
Yeah, my goodness.
intro.
Oh,
And
Well.
he's Josh on the beats.
That's
Josh
right.
on the ones and twos.
thank you guys.
There it is. That was new. That was-
Yeah,
There you go.
I just never used that one before. And then I have. Oh, it's not on these. I have to like redo it. I recently like redid this thing and it like screwed everything up. So that's good.
Technical difficulties.
So I got my dad joke.
Hit us.
Start each episode with a dad joke. It seems that as the new thing. One day you got to come. You guys got to bring a dad joke.
No, I think I should.
Yeah, I got some dad jokes.
There you go.
Okay.
What did the meatball say to the spaghetti? It's pasta your bedtime.
Not too bad.
Let's see, which one did I-
It's hard to follow up last week's jokes.
Yeah.
Last week's jokes were very good.
Yeah, they were solid.
Hasta la pasta.
That was pretty cool. I for the last video I edited it kind of late at night. I forget why. I was busy doing something and so I was like chilling in the kitchen and I was listening back to it as I was doing the dishes. It was like 9 p.m. or something. And I was listening to lo-fi and I was like, this is a good time. I like this. I like, laughing at the jokes and it's good.
Lo-fi just makes everything better.
Mm.
It's just a great vibe.
That's great.
You can't beat it.
Yeah, just I put a little bit in it.
I did.
Yeah.
I liked it. That was a good song too. That's on the. I've been listening to that. It's been on the playlist. So
Mm-hmm.
On the playlist.
yeah, I like it. Yeah, I gotta start thinking about dad jokes more.
Oh, I wanted your opinion on my opinion on it is this is not a shot at the Yankees, but okay. Aaron Boone. What is he thinking?
What's the context there?
No, you didn't hear what he did? With the
Oh.
showing the Red Sox
Oh,
thing?
yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm a Mets fan.
No.
And I'm disgusted by it. And then you have David Ortiz come in and pep talk. If Chipper Jones came in and I'm a Mets, I'm fuming.
What
it
happened?
was
What is-
ridiculous.
what is this?
So the Yankees were down 3-0 against the Astros, right? So to get the whole team hyped up, their mental coach had the idea of showing them a video of the 2004 Red Sox when they came back against the Yankees when they were down 3-0. Kind of like as their motivation.
I got David Ortiz to motivate speak them.
Well, yeah, so that one
He
part was weird.
FaceTimed him.
Eduardo Perez, the reporter for ESPN, right? Eduardo Perez FaceTime David Ortiz to talk to Aaron Boone about it. The whole deal.
First
it was
of all,
a
Aaron
mess.
Boone was on that team that lost.
Exactly.
So why? It just made no
Yeah.
sense.
No,
And
that was stupid.
He's not going to be let go, which is annoying
Yep.
because the Steinbrenners like them. But one thing I didn't like that Yankee fans did was boo Aaron Judge. I really
Yeah.
didn't like that.
So I don't know if that was directly. I think that was just a complete frustration. Like, come on, man, where are you at right
But
now?
just a lot of the Yankee players didn't like that, and like
Yeah.
now it's like kind of backfiring because now like people like Rizzo opted out and stuff like that.
Did he opt out?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't notice that. But I think Yankee fans always. That's just their mo.
Yeah,
they
it can
boo.
be pretty rough.
Yeah.
I
they're
say
gonna
there's
hold you
like
to it.
98% of Yankee fans stink.
Yep.
And then like 2% are like I compare you with like that, like
No, I agree with that. I'm a Yankee fan, and I think Yankee fans stink. There's some tough. They're tough.
like when the
fans.
Mets lost, all I saw was like choke artist. That's all you do. Da, da, da. And now it's like karma.
I think it depends where you look. But I agree.
Oh,
like
I'm
Yankee
looking in
fans
all
can
the
stink.
wrong spots.
I also think it's a little funny too that like I guess it's our generation of Yankee fans that have just grown up with winning.
Yeah, but how many people haven't? You know, like
well, there was a real like stretch in the 80s and
Brendan.
I think it was the 70s.
Like, Brendan doesn't remember the Yankees
Sure.
winning in 09, you know?
Yeah.
He's a Yankee fan, and
Well, that's what I
You
think
know?
is kind
You
of the
got
whole
that
deal
generation.
is like you can't keep talking about the Yankees being like obviously there's the World Series rings, right? So they have that many, but they haven't won since 2009. So you can't keep walking around being like we're the best. Like they, they can't beat the Astros. That was a frustrating series. I could go on and on about it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily I don't know. I feel like you got to change something. It's not like they've been bad, right? They've been winning and they've been making the playoffs and they've been getting deep in the playoffs. But at the same time, it's not, they're not doing what they should be doing, you know?
they were
So-
motivated against Cleveland, but that guy, I don't know what he was doing with the baby thing.
Yeah,
that was
Josh
a little
Naylor.
ridiculous, but you motivated the Yankees. Like
Yep.
when he did that, I was like, okay, you just kissed the kiss of death right there. But
Yeah.
it was a good series to like the first series,
The
that they
Cleveland
had.
series.
That was
definitely.
good.
It was a,
And
that was a tough series, a hard fought series.
I thought you just cursed.
No, yeah, I didn't. I was not.
I like stopped for a minute. I was like,
No,
he's
I
not
was,
frustrated, guys. Change subjects.
I was saying fought. It was a
Yeah.
hard fought series.
I want to see when the footage comes out. I want to see what my face was. I think I went.
You just twitched.
I was like, oh.
I'll do like a hard zoom
Yeah.
on your face. Like,
The
No, but-
Yankees frustrate me.
Look at the Mets. Like that was frustrating, but at least they got one win out of it. But I just really wish they went to the next round. But I told you how Alexa said that the Phillies were the 2022 World Series champs, like before the playoff, like
You
when the playoffs
did say
started.
that.
So like they made it to the World Series, and me and Jess just keep looking at each other like, this is weird.
Wow, that's right.
wait, what happened?
I asked, so the Mets, it was in the beginning of the playoffs, and the Phillies played at night after the Mets, and I didn't know if they won. So I said, Alexa, did the Phillies win last night? And said, yes, the Phillies won. Whoever they beat, I forget who they played. Whoever they played in the beginning,
Cardinals.
Cardinals. And they said they won by 4-2, and they are predicted to, no, she didn't say predicted. She said they are the World Series champs of 2022. And they said that at mine and then at my parents. It was really weird.
Wow,
And now it doesn't say it anymore.
Amazon's rigging it.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the heck? That's crazy.
So if it happens, I'm
we've just exposed.
Gotta put some money down on that.
Yeah, I know.
tonight's the first
Can we
game.
get rich off of this?
We're shooting on a Friday. Tonight's the first game. So.
Yes, I'm all in on the Phillies, to be honest. Well, obviously because
I don't want to see Syndergaard win.
yeah, that's funny. That is Syndergaard's on the Mets. I'm the Phillies.
I don't, as a Yankee fan, wouldn't you rather see the team that, okay, they beat me, so they're that good and they won the World Series?
No, I can't stand the Astros. I think it's ridiculous that they've gotten a pass. I know it's a new team, but they cheated, and it kind of just got forgotten about. I think
mean-
COVID was the best thing that happened to them.
You can say the same thing with roids,
No, that's completely different. I stand on it. I do think that Jose Altuve had a buzzer on. There's
I
just
mean,
no
he
way.
wouldn't take his shirt off.
Yeah,
but
like what are you doing? I that's cheating. And I still remember that. Ask Jonathan. We were in your basement at your parents' house watching that game. I thought the world was over. I just wanted to cry. It was the worst feeling when Altuve
What?
hit that home run against
Oh.
Chapman in
wow.
2019, was that, right? No, I'm cheering for the Phillies.
2017.
Was that 2017?
Yeah, they won in 2017.
Okay. Yeah, it all blends together. I
Yeah.
feel like
Kind of crazy. Like I did the same thing. I looked at the past World Series winners and I was like, they won that long ago?
Yeah.
Like it feels like a lot. It feels like more recent. The Dodgers feel like it didn't happen because it was 2020 and they didn't play a full season.
You forget that the Nationals won
Yeah.
in 2021.
Well,
right?
the only
And
reason
then-
why I remember that is because Bryce Harper just left. And
Yes.
then
Yes. I'm a big fan of Bryce Harper. Always have been, as we
Yeah.
know.
shout out Moose. Loves the Bryce Harper.
Yeah, Bryce has just been on a tear. I'm a big fan of him. But
Not that Matt listens to us, but
yeah. Hey, you never know.
this is the episode.
This is the episode. No, yeah, I'm pulling for the Phillies. Phillies have a really good story, actually. Something that's kind of close to Long Island. So there was a kid in this farm system. who's from Long Island. My friend Sully knows him, who just passed away. He was in their farm system as a pitcher, kind of moving through the ranks and doing really well. And after a start, he just didn't feel well. They took him to the hospital, and he was diagnosed with, I don't know exactly, so I don't want to misquote it. But then kind of things turned for the worse. And like a month ago, right before the playoffs, he passed away. 19 years old, 20 years old, young kid. Just really sad. But the Phillies organization has just done a really great job around that and reaching out to the family. A lot of the players were really like reaching out to him throughout that process when he was diagnosed and things like that. So it was just kind of one of those stories where I was like rallying behind them. So I'm kind of sticking with them, and I hope that they win. I don't know if that's going to change your opinion.
No, their fan base are the most disgusting, vile creatures in this world.
Phillies have a very
They're
that's Philadelphia.
That's the one. I would just get rid of that state.
Brotherly love.
No, there's no brotherly
not a
love there. I'll never forget one time we were coming home. We went to a Mets game, family. We were young kids, like my mom, dad, Jonathan, me, and Lauren. And we're leaving, and people were throwing beer bottles at us. And we're a young family. It's like, what are you doing?
It's Philadelphia, baby.
Bunch of losers.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Philly.
Yeah, and their mascot. Let's change the subject. I can go on a rant about these people.
It's a nice stadium.
Yeah,
Cool.
Citi Field's better.
Cool ballpark. I can't. Yeah. Hey, well, we're gonna have to go through the Eagles too as a Giants
It's not a problem.
continue season.
Best head coach in football.
There we go, man. Got you fired up this morning or this afternoon
Yeah.
over some sports here.
Ugh.
What's your prediction? Phillies
Listen.
Phillies in 6?
No, I got Astros in 4.
Okay.
And Bryce Harper, he's going to be upset, and then he's going to opt out and go into the Mets. No, that's not happening.
With
But-
Aaron Judge.
No, Aaron Judge is good. They said going to San Francisco.
I hope he doesn't, but I saw a thing that said San Francisco is prepared to pay him any amount
Yeah, I
of
saw
money.
that
Like they will
too.
not get outbid. Yeah.
Which, whatever.
Sports, man. Drive you
Sports.
crazy. But at least it's football season. So
Yeah, I got a big game for Ohio State on Saturday versus Penn State.
that's right. That's right. That's a new
It's gonna kill me. I'm gonna be at a wedding.
Oh, is the game at? I thought the game
12
was
in the
the
afternoon.
afternoon, right? Yeah. But, crazy. Go Ohio State. I'll pull for them. I think I'm gonna at this point. Obviously, Notre Dame is not going.
Yeah, I would root for Notre Dame if
but-
we
Yeah.
were out. But yeah, big game. Dave Portnoy, I can't stand listening to him about Ohio State. Oh my goodness! All right, I'm getting all hyped up.
Yeah, really. We're getting a lot.
Yeah,
of
I'm getting
energy
angry
today.
here. Sports, man. Arr. So how was your week? Selling the iced teas? How's the production going on the floor? Like, how you guys
Yeah, it's
ready to hit?
It's going really well. It is busy, man.
Where
When
you guys gonna go? Like, what store are you gonna pitch to first? Do you think?
So we've gotten a lot of great authorizations.
That's
I don't
great.
know if I'm necessarily allowed to
Yeah, you don't-
announce
sorry.
it yet because it's under the works. It's honestly kind of funny, and we're really in stealth mode right now, right? Like the world fascinates me as like industries as a whole. You know, you don't necessarily know about industries until you're working in them. Like, right, the thing that you guys do when you're putting all these parts
Yeah,
together
yeah.
and stuff. Like, to think about the beverage world, it's a very like vast world, and there's a lot of coverage on different brands that are coming up, and we're really just kind of riding under the radar and picking up some key authorizations in some cool big grocery stores here in the Northeast.
That's
So
great.
January will officially be on the shelf.
Cool. And then there'll be a bottle here and there.
Yes, exactly, a can.
Can.
But yeah, so it's exciting. It's
I
a lot of
tasted
work.
it, and it is very good. I like the everyone. I think who tasted. Can I say flavors?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
everyone who said tasted like the green tea, right?
Yes, the green.
And then I like the peach, I believe.
Yes, I thought
Yeah.
that was peach and the green have been the most positive receptions. Yeah, I got to get some samples, man.
And I
Bring 'em on the
tested
show.
that. I tested that against my diet. I was reluctant, but I was like, I gotta Taste it for Ryan.
Well, dude, I'll tell you what. You did not go against your diet because it's 0 calories and 0 sugar.
Oh, great. See? Just like the happy dads.
There you go.
So there you go. So you're good.
Ah, feel good.
It's
Yeah.
a
I
hell.
mean, that was months ago, but great.
At this point, you're feeling better.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a health.
That's where that 1 pound.
You lost that weight drinking
There
it.
we go. It'll be our first sponsor.
Big time. That's it, man. We'll bring it on. We'll deck out the whole
Yeah.
place. But yeah, it's exciting. It's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So it's all good. There are some days where you really have to. So this is what I've done this week. Speaking of weeks, I've really leaned into St. Joseph this week, specifically with work, because he is the patron saint of workers, and just felt, a bit of kind of an overwhelmingness, if that's the correct word.
There he is.
St. Joseph. Yeah.
That was actually sent to us by someone, remember?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Shout out Flock, Mr. Flock.
Yes, it was a great gift. But St. Joseph just has an amazing way of kind of bringing you to peace. So I've kind of leaned into him a little bit more. I feel like I've leaned into St. Joseph a lot of times through just like important moments in my life. We did a consecration to St. Joseph. Did you do that, Josh? Right? We were a part of that together. Yeah, with the church. So that was the first time that I really was kind of like my eyes were open to just St. Joseph and who he is as a man. And obviously you know about St. Joseph, but he led such a quiet life that, did not get as much attention through the early kind of growth of the church. But last year was the year of St. Joseph that Pope Benedict, Pope Francis called out. So yeah, St. Joseph is just someone that I think a lot of people can, especially as dads and as fathers, and just the way he is as kind of a life of humility is something that I've kind of been striving for. And St. Joseph has been someone who's been great for that.
He's one of the stronger people that come out of the Bible, like really just like guiding you and just like realizing like, oh, if he could deal with this, like I could deal with something minor in mine.
Definitely. Yeah, no, I agree. He's not even in the Bible, like there's just no mention of him, right? I don't think there's any mention of him.
There's a couple mentions of him, yeah.
He's there in the manger.
Yeah, the story of the nativity, usually in the beginning of the gospel.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
There you
where
go.
he,
That's
he
incorrect.
has the dream when they travel to Egypt. The angel appears to him.
Tells
and
him
says,
when to
"You
come
gotta-
back,
you gotta
yeah.
leave.
Get out of here.
Is it okay? Is it that he has no words in the Bible?
He
Like,
has
he
no
has
words.
no words. That's what it
Right.
is. Gotcha. Yep. So he has not spoken words.
So I also had a very interesting week too. It's like when you I kind of wanted to talk about this and bring it up. Like when you're talking to someone who, when you're talking about your faith, it could be like very like to someone who's a non-believer, it could be very like nerve-wracking to like bring up your points and just talk to someone. And it's necessarily half the time not even you bringing it up. It's someone, the people looking for a fight or looking to debate you. And like and it's funny enough, like, I always fall to St. Peter, and I found a couple of what he says in the Bible. I got to zoom in. I want to read it, make sure it's correct. And if someone asks about your hope as a believer, always be ready to explain it, but do not, sorry, my eyes. I wanted to bring my blue light glasses, but I thought I would reflect that. But do not do this in an argument way. Do it in a respectful way. And like that's one thing like that came up to me when I was reading that, and just like how this person is so like confrontational and just always wanting to come at me, and just like he knows like I do this, so he always wants to like try to like prove me wrong and try to like leave me stumped. Like he actually said to me like, I know more about your Bible than you do. And I was like, okay. That's good. Then you should start believing that.
Yeah, exactly. You should be a Christian.
Yeah. And St. Peter he says like, it's not our job is to plant the seeds, and it's God's job to water them and make them grow. So like that's one thing I also took away from like everything. And I'm not going to sit there and argue with someone over it. Like I'm going to like say my piece, say like what touched me and like what made me a real believer in Christ. And hopefully like that sticks with you. Like you're not going to get someone who isn't ready. Like you can tell when someone's not ready to like give up their life. Like if you're just preaching at them and just like, you're going to push them away. That's why it's like, you really just have to listen to their story and then like relate to it and then bring them into it more, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because we're not the ones that convert people. You know, it's God who does that.
Softens our hearts.
Yeah, exactly. And you just want to, lay down that seed and have the Lord kind of water it and just love and be, pray for them. And that's all you can really do.
Yeah. And Josh, you're the perfect like example. You came.
Yeah, that's right.
Came over to our team.
I did. Yeah. Convert.
I'm a firm believer in that. The idea of living in a way that kind of allows people to then get, like you said, it's not necessarily, confrontation and the conversation sometimes doesn't really connect. It's really more about just the way you approach things or how you live that maybe might make someone, when they're ready, then they'll listen.
That's one thing I've learned from doing this is like, I used to like people would always try to debate and then I would debate back. And now it's like, okay, you got like their heart is too hard right now. It has to be softened by God. And I just have to plant the seeds.
Definitely. And
Yeah, and then I think just through your own example, I heard someone recently on Pints with Aquinas. He was interviewing these two nuns, and they both said that like internal peace. If you are a peaceful and a joyful person, you're going to do way more for the Lord and way more for the world by that grace and by the goodness that you can bring, as opposed to like trying to be intellectual or trying to win arguments. Like if you have internal peace and you're living out the faith in your own way and you're joyful, then that's what gets it done.
I agree.
I totally agree.
Honestly, the best person like I've ever seen talk like that is James. Like James has that inner peace. So it's like you can try to get under his skin, but he can like totally just like, oh, that's how you feel? Well, maybe look at this and guide the person. Like the one time I saw him like talking in Woodlock to someone about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just comes naturally, there. And I think that's where you can kind of have the most lasting effect when it is like just a natural kind of conversation and a natural flow of things, because that resistance can be so quick. James does have a way about him that just makes you.
He's very calm.
Yeah, of course, and it's a great thing. I've looked up to James my whole life, physically and
he's tall.
But James that's a great example, and it's funny. I listened to that. I heard something similar to this on a podcast this week too, the Catholic Stuff You Should Know podcast. I love listening to those guys. They're one of my favorite podcasts now. Great. But
After Ours, right?
After Ours, yep, always. But it was kind of talking about like the receptivity of our faith and how we can live in a way that is constantly like receptive of like where God can be in life, and that comes with that peace that you talked about and that calmness that you can just kind of live through your day and just be receptive to like where God can be, and not necessarily meaning like I need to walk around and like talk about God to everyone's face and like run around, but it's more about just like receptive to the idea of like, okay, God is present and he's with me in these moments, and I'm receptive to what he's bringing to me as I'm out here living in this world. And like that encounter that you might have with someone like may feel insignificant, but you never know what that can do for them down the line, whatever it is, right? So it's like trying to work to be a little bit more open to that idea of like every moment there might be a chance for me to live a certain way that can help, really connect with someone.
And in Peter 3:15, he says, and if someone asks about your hope as a believer, always be ready to explain it. So like that's one thing too, is like you have to kind of know your talking points of the questions that are going to be asked to you.
Yeah. And then your own testimony too, like knowing your own story and being able to share that with people is very powerful.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, if someone asked you guys, like, why are you Catholic? Like, Josh, you might have a better, more clear answer because you went through a part of your life where you, like, you know, definitively chose it, right? And like you and I, we grew up Catholic, right? So we're cradle Catholics. But, you know, like, if someone asked me that question, right? Like, what would that response be? And is that something that you feel like can be
something good to reflect on, you know?
right?
Reflect on, develop your own testimony,
Exactly.
write it down even.
I think that's a problem with some people is like you said, cradle Catholics of just like, oh, it's just, you know, routine until it like really hits you and you really feel like God in your presence and just like you go through something and like you really lean on God and you put God in your everyday life and instead of just like just going through the motions.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has to choose at one point to accept it and to follow it.
And honestly, I feel like me and you have talked about this of like how we kind of like, not that we left, but like we kind of like put it on the back burner in a way, but we were still always there, still present, but we weren't present until like it really like.
I agree because everyone's looking, I feel like, right? Our hearts are all just searching for meaning in life and also searching for things that are like concrete and in the world. And I think sometimes, like, at least I can maybe speak to it for us, like growing up as Catholics, like sometimes you're put into situations where like I went to Catholic school my whole life, right? So it was always, you're kind of told the things that you were supposed to do to become a Catholic. And there was almost a little bit of a disconnect as far as how that, like how Mass and how the sacraments and how those things relate to the world. And it takes like encountering someone who's special in that way where they're showing you how it relates to the world. And I think that's what I hope we're trying to create here is that we're showing how our faith relates to the world because it relates to the world. It's a part of everything that we do. And it's just sometimes I think there is that little disconnect and maybe that's why there is sometimes, you know, like we put it on our back burner for a little bit because it just felt like, yeah, this is a part of life, but it's not in my life right now where it's like, you kind of just turn a corner a little bit where you're like, wait a second, this is the key. The key is Christ on the cross. And that's the key that's going to allow me to interpret the world even deeper and to be able to live in a different way. You know, it's kind of it's a unique thing. And I think that can be a focus for us going forward, like just church in general, like how the Catholic faith is explained in a way where like Bishop Barron and, you know, Father Mike and all these guys are doing such great jobs of showing how our faith is just present and how God's a living word that we're encountering every day. I think that could be meaningful, really.
Yeah, and even just like the people we brought up last week, the Irish guy, brothers.
Yeah, did you guys listen to any of him? Did you see it?
I did, and then I got interrupted, but
Yeah.
I have them on my list to listen to.
Yeah.
What was it called again? It's called
Call to More.
Call to More.
Call to More, yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, Father Colombo, I think his name was. But yeah, there's so many great things out there, and it is really cool. So, what do you think, Josh? I feel like you have some, like, do you have like a, right? So what was that moment? Like you talked about it before, the Eucharist, how that's kind of been something that was the real like kind of change
that
for you.
was the
like,
one thing. Like, sitting in an adoration and seeing the Eucharist for the first time ever, and not really knowing what it was or understanding anything, because I was far away. I didn't even understand what Catholics were, like none of that stuff. I had some friends who were Catholic, but I never went to Mass, and they never really talked about it. But I grew up in a very non-denominational. My mom just read the Bible and talked to me about it. Basically, we didn't go to church, nothing. So it was like not really there. And then my freshman year of college, I went on a retreat at this Catholic school that I went to. And, sitting through an adoration, my heart just broke in front of the monstrance, just staring up at the Eucharist. I had no idea what it was. I knew it was something Christian, obviously, but, and then I wanted to learn more about it. And then it wasn't until a talk that I heard from Scott Hahn. I think I mentioned it on here.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah. And that was the moment when I was like, okay, this is true. And I have to be Catholic. Like, this is it right here. Yeah.
That's neat. Adoration is a real powerful thing.
Yeah.
The times that I've spent in adoration are just
Yeah. And
Who's your confirmation name?
Maximus.
Maximus.
Maximus the Confessor. Yeah. He was one saint that I like really leaned into. He was this martyr in Asia. He traveled to Asia. He was like this really intelligent guy. He wrote all these books and basically brought Aquinas to Asia. And then he was martyred for doing it. So
Wow.
I appreciated that. So
Who was yours?
Maximus.
Saint Dominic of Savio is a very unknown saint. He died when he was 14 years old. When I was in 3rd grade, they passed out saint cards to everyone in the class, and I got Saint Dominic's card. And he was just a saint that I prayed to a lot when I was younger because he was an altar boy and I was an altar server. I don't know. He just connected with me, so I really liked his story. I was going to guess yours, but I don't remember. I want to say it's Robert. No, Peter. Right.
I was gonna say Peter.
course.
I was going through Jonathan's name, and then I was trying
Good
to go
old
through
Pete.
your name. Peter. Yeah, you are Peter.
The Rock.
Rock.
I've told that how I fell in love with him from a young kid. Like just like going to Easter Mass and Deacon Marty always telling the stories and about the rooster crowing 3 times and just like everything with the ear cutting off and just like that's even like now as an adult, that's my perfect like that's how I would picture myself like being, just like really throw myself into, you know, God and protecting God and just like feeling the way he is, you know, the way he went through it.
Yeah. And St. Peter has just this like
He's a good
kind of like
story.
this way about him that you're just like, man, like, you know, I guess it's maybe I visualize it more because of like The Chosen and how they've kind of
Yeah.
portrayed him as a character. But no, St. Peter's pretty awesome to relate to in so many different ways, and just how Jesus impacted his life. It's like inspirational for us, you know, to be able to be like, I want to, you know, kind of follow that journey also.
I think what's cool about Peter is like the fact that he's screwed up so many times, you know, and it just makes it so real. Because oftentimes when we look at saints, they're like these perfect people who like did amazing things, and then you have someone like Peter who like literally denied God, like denied him, and then still managed to come back and
Denied God, and he was the closest person to God at that point, you
just
know.
completely betrayed him, you know.
Yeah.
But then came back and
Very relatable. Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because I know our wives right now, they're doing the consecration of Saint Therese, right? And Saint Therese, the little flower, like she can be kind of an intimidating saint sometimes because of just how an amazing life she lived of just like perfect devotion to God. And it's been fun talking to Ronnie about it as she's going through it. And like she bears up some really good points and stuff. And it's like, how do you know at such a young age that you want to devote your life to God? Like, what an amazing thing.
yeah.
I thought of it in the way of like, you know how sometimes like athletes athletes are born just with this natural gift, right? To be athletes. I almost feel like it can be the same way with faith and with God, where it's like some people are just born with this understanding or they just have this relation with God like far beyond others.
Yeah, they kind of have this like inclination towards him, you know, just like this from birth, like honestly,
crazy.
you know, yeah.
It's just inspirational. Saint Therese, though, I think is one of the most powerful saints. And when I've prayed to her, like just the intercessions that she's had, and I think that that's a cool part about our faith too, is like that there are saints that you can turn to and pray to and have them pray for you, and like you can seek out their intercession and they can kind of make that connection to you. I always thought that was funny when like when I was younger, like you'd hear someone say like, pray for me, or like, oh, have the saints pray for you. I was always like, what does that mean? Right. But now like just feeling in a different way of like, no, there's this real like intercession that goes on, and like these people are, you know, holy and in heaven and praying for you and desire you to get closer to God. So like there is like this real way to like reach out to them to like, and if you open your heart to allow them to work in your life, I think that's when it actually like can really go through. So
Yeah, definitely.
it's cool.
You think you ever like, you know, who do you pray to? St. Christopher when you lose something? You think
Saint
he's
Anthony.
Saint Anthony?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think he's ever like, you lost it again? The remote is behind the pillow.
I have a good story with that. So the best St. Anthony story that I have is I went fishing with my dad. So whenever he comes down here, we go surf casting, and we went to Jones Beach at night, and you know, we did the whole fishing thing. And then when we were coming back, we were walking back to the car, and I had the keys, and I put it in like the beach chair that we brought. And I realized when we got back to the car, and it was far, it was probably like maybe 1.5 mile, 2 mile walk. I realized the keys were gone. So they had fallen out of the beach chair, just landed on the sand somewhere in the middle. It was nighttime, so completely pitch black. And so we were walking literally for like 2 hours, 3 hours, like, midnight, 1 a.m., looking for these keys. And we were just about to give up and just like call a taxi or something. And I literally just said, St. Anthony prayer. And I looked down at my feet and it was right there. Like, no joke. And I just reached down, grabbed it. I was like, oh, there we go. Found the keys.
Wow.
Man, it was crazy.
That is wild.
There's people, he's probably like, all right, you're a first offense. I'll help you out.
You
Listen
get
over
into
there.
a pecking order. Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait your turn.
This guy again. Gotta wait.
This guy would forget his head.
Yeah. The power of prayer, man.
Yeah.
That was something as well that came to light to me this week. Helped me with my faith journey in a way of, this was from the Catholic Stuff You Should Know podcast, but they were talking about Jesus as an intercessor and that Jesus is praying to the Father constantly for us. And that was an image that I've never had before. I never thought about going to Jesus to go to the Father. I would always kind of think about, going to Mary or Joseph to go to Jesus, but the thought of Jesus to the Father and the fact that he's like constantly praying for us and that he's just waiting for us to come in and pray with him. And that idea of like the way that you can, similar to like what we were talking about, like living in the world, it's like how you can approach everything that you are dealing with in your day in like a contemplative prayer. And like when things are tough, it's like take rest or kind of lean into the Lord and let him pray for you and let him kind of like give you that peace through those difficult situations. And those are moments where you can like find different connections to Jesus and how it's his intercession to the Father that is constantly moving us forward. I think that's such a cool image, something I never really had before. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah. And I think even going another step with that too, and involving the Holy Spirit more too, is a great thing we can do. We're praying to God the Father and Christ the Son, and then also the Spirit to guide us and to lean, we can lean on Him and give us the gifts and all that stuff.
Definitely. The Trinity, the power of the Trinity, things in threes. That's why we do three
I
in
saw
the draft.
something where it was like, there you go. That's why we do it. I saw something where it's like our body is Jesus, our soul is God, and our spirit is God, and our soul. Maybe I'm switching that up. Is the Holy Spirit?
Yeah,
Like
mind.
Yeah,
Like the body, mind,
yeah,
and spirit. Yeah, like how we're made in three, just like how
Yeah.
God is made in three. Like how we reflect the image of the Father in those ways. And
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about. We're gonna do the
Exodus.
Exodus.
Yes. Yeah. So we're gonna create a little content for the audience here. So what we wanted to do is we're gonna do an Exodus challenge, I guess is the right word, together.
21 days.
Yeah. So Exodus 90 is, for people that don't know, it's an excellent app. It's a Catholic-based program, really, where Josh and I have done it 2 years in a row now. Usually it's like January, the first of the year. There's 90. It's like a 90-day program of a lot of disciplines like asceticism, prayers, and just really kind of like minimalizing a lot of things in your life to allow just more receptiveness to God working in your life. So there's a lot of different things that they offer in the app, and there's different series and things that you can do throughout the year. So we're going to do a biblical series together. It's going to start with Genesis. So we're going to do Genesis 1 through 3. For the next 21 days, we're going to be working through Genesis. And at the same time, we're going to be doing a couple of disciplines and really kind of focusing in on our prayer and just examines throughout the day and things like that. So we're going to do it together and kind of talk about it a little bit on each podcast. And I'll put some content on the Instagram as well, like as we're going through it. But this episode will be released, and that will be the first day of the 21-day journey.
So come on over to the Instagram, follow us on our journey. Follow Facebook too. Follow us on that. You can week by week, I guess we'll talk about it and update you.
Should we do like a documentary kind of thing where we like film our own experiences with it, like talk about it, or
sure, we can get creative. Definitely
try to make that work, maybe
like a little vlog, a personal vlog. We definitely could.
Like, oh, this is day 7. Like, this is what I did. This is how things are going. And then we can talk about it on the podcast, but then also maybe we can compile all this stuff and like release it on the channel, you know?
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
See, that's something a little out of my comfort zone, right? Like we're going
Yeah,
for it, but
yeah.
that's a great way to create content and just like bring people along
Bring
on the
people in,
journey.
you
That's
know,
a great
just
idea.
walking with us, you know?
Definitely. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I think this is a cool way for us to like kind of lean into something together.
I like the one with the no phone in front of people.
Yeah, so
That's
there are a
very,
few
very good.
disciplines.
But you can get it on the app if you want to join us.
Yeah.
Leave it in the comments what's going on. Follow on Instagram.
Definitely. Yeah, if you want to do it together, download the app, Exodus 90. It's pretty simple. There's
There's a bunch of steps like you could read and follow with it. And it's
Yeah, it's
not
gonna
as
be fun.
strict as the other one, but it's a little better.
Yeah, so we'll lay it out. Just do like a quick.
I jinxed it. I told Josh
Yeah, you did.
right before. I said, "Oh, it hasn't fallen the whole time," and then I said, "Oh, I just jinxed it and it's gonna fall."
It's been wobbling
Yeah,
so
so-
much today.
yeah.
I don't know why.
We need a kickstand or something.
As
for
soon
it,
as I
yeah.
put the book down, I was like, "That's gonna fall." All right, so this is the outline of it, just real quick. So we're gonna be reading Genesis. There's readings and reflections each day. 20 minutes of silent contemplative prayer. Abstain from mobile device in front of others. That's a good one. So this whole idea, the theme is the idea of gratitude. That's kind of the overview. As it's time for a celebration, we're going to reflect on the good gifts that God has given us as we start through Genesis. So then we're going to say an Our Father before each shower. Usually it's cold showers, but thankfully this time they're not giving us cold showers. So it's an Our Father before each shower as a way to just kind of say thanks. You know, something we do every day. So to say an Our Father beforehand. Lift your drinks to God. I think this is kind of a cool one. Before each sip of a newly poured beverage, alcohol or non-alcohol, pause and give thanks. And then they said try and make specific thanks of each gifts. So check in with your anchors. So we'll check in with each other throughout the week. Do a nightly examine. This is something that we did in Exodus, the original 90 days, and I've tried to incorporate it in my life daily. I think that's a cool thing to do, to finish your day with a little bit of reflection on like where God was in your day and, you know, how you kind of navigated the different obstacles. Abstain from meat on Fridays. And then the last one is hold a feast. So we're going to have a feast at one point together.
Yeah.
It requires good food, good drink, good people, and something worth celebrating. So should be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm glad there's no cold showers because that really stinks.
We've done it. So it's funny. We've
That's where I
had.
would lie to you guys and just have to go confess.
Oh man, we didn't do that. I didn't cold shower.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't either. But
No.
I think the first year I did it, but what I found was because a big part of the Exodus 90 is exercise.
Yes.
So I would do like heavy lifting stuff, and then I would be so sore, and then jumping into a cold shower, I'd cramp up so bad. It's like I can't do it. I'm not doing this.
And like we did Exodus 90 January 1st, so it's cold out. I'm like, I
cold,
can't get
yeah,
into
yeah.
the cold shower.
But yeah, that gets us right before Thanksgiving. So follow us on our journey, as we said in the beginning, and check us out on Instagram, Facebook. If you want to help support us, go to Patreon. Then we can buy the app.
That's right. The Instagram handle is at mustardseed521. 521 because that's when we started, May 2021.
Yeah.
So mustardseed521, and then I think
And
Facebook.
I believe everything is below us. Let's do our draft.
Let's do it,
Before
man.
we get out of here. We are doing cookies. Josh starts.
Whoa! All right, I was not expecting that.
Cookies. All right.
Wait. Could I ask a question before you start? Cookies, as in like flavor, like you know what I mean, like oatmeal raisin, chocolate
Yeah, all
chip,
cookies,
or are
yeah,
we
yeah.
saying like Chips Ahoy, like
No,
different
no.
brands?
Well, like what you said
Yeah,
first.
the type
Yeah.
flavor.
Okay, got it.
What are they called? Is it samosas?
Samoas.
Samoas. Like was it coconut chocolate?
The Girl Scout
The Girl
cookies.
Scout cookies.
Yes.
Oh man. Whew. I love those.
Those are good. Those are one of those that I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily order. You have to be, but we had a box of them recently that Ronnie got by accident. I loved them. I didn't realize how much I'd like
They're
them.
so good.
So good.
Yeah. I love coconut. Like it's one of my favorite things. So.
And it feels healthy when you eat it. You're like, it's not too bad. It's coconut.
Chomping at the bits here. I'm so excited. Josh didn't last week. He took Parks and Rec. I was like, I don't know, where do I go from that? Chocolate chip cookies, the ones my mom makes. Boom.
Very specific.
All chocolate chip cookies. I love all chocolate chip cookies.
Stealing chocolate chip.
Soft, not hard.
Yeah, you like the soft.
Yeah.
So have you had Tate's cookies?
Yes, I've had Tate's. Yeah,
Prefer.
I
Softer.
still enjoy the chocolate chip cookie, but I prefer a little softer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the chewy Chips
Yeah.
Ahoy. It's good stuff.
Your mom's.
I gotta bring
perfected
some of
the
my
chocolate
mom's
chip
for Josh
cookies.
to eat.
Yeah.
My mom makes really good chocolate chip cookies. You
Would
can
love
pop like 50 of them in your mouth.
Ooh.
Yeah, literally. Like just pop. I have like this vivid memory of like at family parties when they would be sitting at the table, like while
Sneak
just
one.
during the day, you just open the little
Like, where
flap
did
and
this
just kind of
half
steal it.
go?
Someone will walk in and Andrew's like, hide the evidence. And you just put it in your mouth. That's so funny. Memories.
You get 2.
I get 2. Okay. So Oreos. I love Oreos.
Ooh.
I'm typically a double stuffed guy. I prefer
me
double
too.
stuffed because that's my favorite part is the
I agree
inside.
with you.
So Oreos, all Oreos, double stuffed are the best. I'm gonna go tagalongs. Girl Scout cookies are so good. Tagalongs, I love tagalongs. Peanut butter and chocolate. It's just such a great combination.
I'm gonna take like a sugar cookie, the soft sugar cookies, like Stop and Shop makes them, like those
Like
type
with
of
the icing
yeah.
on it too. Like the
No,
icing.
no icing.
Oh, no icing.
Yeah, that's gas station cookies.
I didn't know that.
Different tiers. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like the soft, like Subway sells them. Like it's like a soft, like plain sugar cookie. It's
Yeah,
good.
I can
Yeah,
picture
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Those are really good.
All right, so I got 2.
Mhm.
To it. All right, so I'm gonna do Thin Mints.
Mm. Girl Scout theme.
Girl Scout, we're really this episode
yeah.
brought to you by Girl Scouts.
Not
No
really.
free ads.
And then white chocolate macadamia.
I'm always a fan of those. Those come in the Costco pack.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
don't drink them.
yeah.
Yes, that's a good one. Good choice. Mm.
There you go. Those are my 3. We should put these on Instagram.
Yeah, I got to make sure I put these on Instagram this week.
So,
'cause
I,
didn't
so
do
I
that
can
last
win
week.
again.
Undefeated.
I don't know. I'm gonna take black and white.
Black and white cookies.
Yeah.
Man, I was thinking about taking that.
I got like 3 others. I love cookies, but you pick and then we'll do our honorable mentions.
So, I think this might ruin my votes, but I love them. Oatmeal raisin. I'm a big fan of oatmeal
Yeah, I don't
raisin
mind
cookies.
them,
I
yeah.
think they're really good.
Yeah.
Like a nice soft oatmeal cookie. Oh, they're really good. So, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm trying to think.
There's
of,
one
like,
cookie
different
that
cookies.
always reminds me of grandma. The elf. What was the elf?
El Fudge? EL
Yeah,
Fudge?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The circle ones with the lines on it. And then the black
Oh,
on the
okay.
back.
I'm thinking, yes.
What about the really big ones that have like the really thick fudge in the middle? You know
That's what I
those
was thinking of. And they got
Oh.
the characters
are?
on them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Oh,
Or
man.
shortbread cookies are
Those were
always
good.
great.
Those are really good. You brought up a good one, though. The ones with the stripes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know what they're
Grandma
called.
used to always have those. I
They're,
don't know what they're called.
they're like a
either.
circle. There's a hole in the middle and then the stripes
Yeah,
across.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's the elf fudge too, but they're
Lorna
different types.
Dunes.
Those are great. Milano. What do you think of Milano cookies?
Oh, what about? Is that a cookie? Is this a cookie? I can't believe the rainbow one.
Oh my goodness!
That's
I
your
didn't
favorite.
even think of that as like a cookie.
I see it in the store. I'm like, oh, hi, Ryan. Because that's like a known family thing. Ryan loves those rainbow
like the,
cookies.
the rainbow.
The disrespect.
Those are the best cookies in the world. I honestly did not think of them as a cookie.
He's just in Girl Scout heaven over
it's like
here.
it's like a cake, right?
But we call them rainbow cookies.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're cookies.
When we were living in Smithtown, there was one day we did like this date night where we had to go to 3 different places for each meal. So like we got one place for appetizer, one place for dinner, and one place for dessert. And at this dessert, we bought. I just drove into this bakery and was like, "What's the best thing you guys have?" And they were like, "We make a rainbow cake." And what it was like the rainbow cookies, but in like a giant cake form. And so
Wow.
I bought that, and it was fantastic.
Wow. I can't change up the draft, but that
No.
was because when
Yeah.
you said cookie, I'm thinking of like a circle or a round cookie.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
didn't click in my head. Rainbow. Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't even pop into my head until like after. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, as we're going through it all. This is the tough part about that we don't know this topic beforehand. Andrew's the only one who's prepping answers. He's like, all right, I got this.
Actually, I came up with that as I walked in the garage.
Okay. So we're on an
Oh,
even playing field
Yeah, that
today.
one was, yeah.
All right, fair enough.
But when I don't have the number one pick, it's like,
I guess
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, a little more time. Man.
Yeah. But nice. All right, I got to Instagram this
yeah,
one.
so
I'll
next
put it
time I
on
get
there.
the number one pick.
Yes, you do. I think we should rotate where people bring the topic.
Oh, whatever gets voted first, that's what we have to eat.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was gonna say I was trying to figure out like a way to be able to make it like kind of always revolving, but
One of our top favorite things.
yeah,
That's good.
good stuff. Well,
Cool.
Except for the worst things, though. Imagine we had to do the worst things that we pick, like bite your tongue.
yeah, no,
Just walk in, there's mac and cheese everywhere.
Yeah.
You have to take your shoes off.
Sounds like, ah!
that'd be
This
funny.
is the barefoot mac and cheese episode.
Before, oh, sorry.
No, go
Sorry.
ahead. I was gonna say something silly. Go ahead.
Well, so is mine.
Go ahead.
Silliness.
Silly.
You had an interesting thing you said before about like, like the athletes and how you said like they know and stuff like that. How do you know from you? I have I heard this opinion from someone, and then I'm kind of like adopting it too. It's like, okay, if you were raised by Tiger Woods' dad, you'd be just as good at golf. It's golf.
Well,
It's not like that crazy that like if you did every day and you did that. It's not Jordan. It's not like that thing. This is, I'm not saying golf is like unskilled, but like if you were raised in the same environment and you did golf every day and like it was ingrained in you, I think
the results would be different for every person because I still think that you can go back
still
to
think
like,
you're winning a major.
well, yes, I agree. Like I think you're making it on the PGA Tour and you're
Yes.
playing competitively for sure.
It's totally different from baseball and that. Like all other sports, like basketball, if you did it every day, you still could stink. Like God. Like I think if you were raised by Tiger Woods' dad, what's his name, Earl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree with that in pieces because I still think it comes down to your natural ability. And if you don't have a natural ability to be an athlete, there's so
Yes.
far you can
But
go.
I
right?
feel like
But golf is not easier than any other sport.
no, but I'm saying like if you feel like you have like that natural ability, I feel like
Okay, yes. So
I'm using you as an example. I even think I could have, if Earl was
well, that's where the
Yeah.
way Earl,
Yeah.
we're calling Earl like we know him.
Earl Woods.
The way he raised Tiger Woods to basically just
Yeah.
be golf is, yes, in that environment, if you spent every day since you were 3 years old playing golf, then yeah, you probably would become a very good player. His mental game, which you could also attribute to Earl, was something that made him different.
Yeah.
And that was something that wasn't necessarily like around in golf. Like a killer instinct in golf was different.
Like I think it's like I think it's totally different if like you were raised like Phelps and just like thrown in the water all the time. I'm still not gonna be the fastest swimmer because you're still gonna like, and also you got to have the mindset of not to quit. Like Tiger didn't want to quit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
would you quit? Like be like, I want a life. You will golf. Hit this birdie.
Hit this birdie. Yeah, I still think natural ability has. I'm trying to think like what's the most.
I guess
Like
you know
evil-
what? Let's do the experiment. I got Elijah.
Make him golf every day for the rest of his life.
I'm gonna, he's young right now. I'm gonna start putting the club in his hand. Let's go.
Make it happen, man.
Like Logan, get out of here. It's too late for you.
I guess golf would be. I don't know. I'm trying to think like what's the most like even playing field sport in a sense where it's like physical attributes don't necessarily kind of translate, and I guess you can
Golf
say
is
golf
like
in
one
that
of the
way.
most like look at what's his name Daly.
John Daly, like
Yeah.
they're not in all the best shape, but a swing itself though takes athleticism.
Yeah,
and-
but that's what I'm saying. You're being
but you
raised
can,
by
you can like train yourself
Yeah.
to get a swing. That's I guess maybe
It's cornhole.
cornhole. There you go. Just via aces, just always hitting cornhole. That's a good experiment.
yeah.
Cool. I'm glad Halloween is over,
Yep.
as this will be released.
Me too.
Almost there.
On the way to
Can't stand
Thanksgiving. Yeah, I
Halloween.
want all the
I hate
decorations down.
Halloween.
Halloween's my least favorite thing.
Yeah, that's why it wasn't picked in the fall draft.
It's the worst.
It
The
is
autumn
worst,
draft.
yeah.
I just
right?
gotta say, I gotta get that off my chest. I'm not a fan of
I
Halloween.
can't. Thank
The
you,
only
Ryan.
thing
I feel affirmed because I hate Halloween
Can't
too.
stand it.
I mean,
just
I
wanna
enjoy
skip it.
dressing up
Always.
and doing like that, but I don't enjoy like seeing these decorations. I don't enjoy.
You know, the culture.
The decorations have gotten more intense.
Oh
It wasn't
my
just
gosh.
me,
just
right?
down the street, there's this
Yeah.
guy. He's got like a 10-foot skeleton, and
Oh,
he was
yeah.
just like, what the
It's
heck?
I
all
know.
my
I saw it as
neighborhood.
I drove over
Jeez
here.
Louise.
And they're like $100
why would
at
you,
Home
why
Depot.
would you
And people
do
are buying.
that?
and, like, where do you store that?
And a lot of these like hanging, like
Oh.
scary,
Yeah,
like
it's just horrible.
kid things with like the long hair and the black dress
So-
and just floating from the tree.
Come on,
Like,
man.
We've been going on walks almost every night, and this one house has like a guy pinned up against the wall, gore, guts, and like every time Logan walks by, he's like, "It's not real, it's not real,"
Yeah,
and we're like, "No, it's not. Don't look."
ah,
It's
yeah.
just
supposed
like
to be for
horrible.
kids, and like adults have like stolen it and then made it gross. Like
Yeah.
it's not good.
Well,
It
what
definitely
is,
feels
the
like
day
it's-
after Halloween? All Saints. No,
All Souls Day, yeah.
All Souls Day.
yeah.
Mhm. November 1st.
Yeah, I used to take off because like the Catholic schools were always. I went to public school, but like you, James, Jonathan, all of you guys always had off, and we always did a sleepover. So I would always take off the day after Halloween.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
yeah, I had my one friend. Like I didn't go in high school. We went to go see Shrek 3, I think, and it was the day of voting for class president, and he lost by 1 vote.
I remember that story.
And I didn't go.
We all went to see Shrek. Didn't we go together?
We slept
yeah.
over, and then we went to
We
go
went
see
to see
Shrek
Shrek.
3. And then like I'm 32, and he still never lets me live it down. Every time I see him, he's like, says, "Oh, Shrek 3."
Lost in the presidency.
Lost the because I was his. He used to joke and say I was his Secret Service.
I remember this. That's so funny.
Nice.
Good times. Well,
But yeah, it's been fun. Stay rooted in Christ. Check us out on Patreon, Spotify, obviously YouTube, locals.
Check us out.
And then I think it'd be cool if you guys do the challenge with us.
Yeah,
And you
Exodus.
check in and check out the Instagram, Facebook.
I'll have a link to all this stuff in
Yeah.
the description, the Exodus thing too.
awesome.
Appreciate you guys.
Cool. Thanks for listening. See you next week. Peace.